Hey y'all, welcome back to Black Chat. I'm Robbie J. Next to me on my right is Sasan, and next to him is Paul. Coming at you talking about Social Security because you all asked for it and you were really upset at half the things I said. So, what we wanted to do with this episode is kind of go into Social Security, discuss the back and forth, discuss in depth what we're looking at when it comes to these types of things. And hopefully you'll better understand where I'm coming from, or maybe I could say it in a better, or maybe I'm just going to piss everyone off again. Who knows? If you take a minute to like, share, and subscribe with the video, really appreciate it. It helps us with the algorithm on YouTube. And as you can see, we're coming at you from our new studio. So hope you all enjoy this episode. What you got to say to me, Paul? You got a lot over there.
Well, I do have some notes. That's true. I have some notes. But what's crazy is, let's be real. There was 17,600 hits on that clip on TikTok.
That's right.
You stirred the pot in a major way
I did.
with Social Security.
Yep.
But let's get into it because it does. I am for Social Security. I'm not against it.
The baby boomers, they were really coming for you.
Oh, the baby
Like,
boomers were really upset.
They
Yeah.
absolutely hate you right now.
Yes, that's right. And
But,
they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm kind of half and half with, Social Security. I don't know. Like, I paid into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do I need it? I don't think so. Not in my current situation, but I don't know what the future holds. I'm not for it or against it, to be honest with you. I'm kind of in the middle, like I am right here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't really have too much to say on it. Let's see what you guys have to say.
You better have a lot to say on it because you always sit these out.
Come on.
Yeah.
You didn't get controversial.
Yeah.
That's because you two run your mouth all the time.
Okay.
It's always Paul and you. Like, you just take over. But let's see how this goes. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
All right. So,
No, but absolutely. I mean, when it came to the point that I think most people were agitated with me, and not to mention anyone in particular, but I had someone reach out and say, I paid into this account my entire life. Why are you saying that I shouldn't have access to it? And I said, well, you should have listened to the entire episode instead of just the clip, because the clip just gives you the clip. It doesn't give you the full context. Although we didn't go into depth, to be fair. I said I was talking about baby boomers, not everyone. But in that vein, I gave the example that I did the other night on a chat that we had on the side, that I know someone personally who is getting Social Security's checks, right? The maximum that you can get, and paid into it only on part-time jobs during his lifetime. That's it. So he's getting the full benefit and didn't pay into the system like the rest of us did for his entire life. I don't think that's fair. But that's kind of where I started with it, and we'll go, because I have all my facts and figures. Okay, I'm not coming at you with something wrong, but
I mean, like, that's fine. I mean, but like for me, is this: if you paid into it, you deserve to get it. However, though, I know the reason why Social Security was created, right?
Yeah.
So FDR started back in 1935. All right. So like it actually came into effect January 1937. Texas were being collected. January 1940, regular benefits were monthly start being paid to like retirees. So in that vein, you have a lot of people, baby boomers, everybody, that paid into it, that regardless of how you may look at it, even in today's economy, there's surplus income that still may help offset some of the things that they need to pay for today. So do I think it needs to go away? No. However, they always say it. And the fact of the matter is, they, like, 1 minute they say, oh, it's going to go away in 2035. Now they're saying it's 2034. They don't know, period. Because the last time I checked, let's see here, is 163,030, 163.37 million people employed in the United States. 135.277 million, that's full time. So tell me, if everybody's paying into it, how is something going to go away?
Paying out more than they're collecting.
that's correct.
Yeah, it's simple.
All right, so they're paying out more than they're collecting.
Yep.
So they say, but If there's a Social Security trust fund that the government taps into that they have to pay back, how's it going to go away?
So I think that's one of the main misconceptions about Social Security is that there is no trust fund. It's just a big pot. Like you don't have like Paul's pot of money that he paid
Right.
into his whole life. Um, you're not saying you, I just mean in general. I think a lot of folks don't understand because they think, well, I've paid into it, where's my account? And that's not how this works. The current generation is paying for the current retirees generation. So if you're working, you're paying for folks to retire. Um, and to me, that sounds too much like a Ponzi scheme, right? You got the bottom paying for the top, and it keeps
Hmm.
getting like this. And I'll talk more about the pyramid as we go on. I'll illustrate that better. Um, but just on the face of it, it just does. It seems like because why wouldn't you have an account set aside for you, right? You've paid into it.
Hmm.
So let's say your working life was half of what someone else's was.
Hmm.
Why do you get access to full benefits that the person who worked their entire life? See, it doesn't do it like that. It's based on age. Age determines how much the payout you get.
Okay.
And up until a certain point, I believe it's 62, the government tells you that if you earn any extra income, then your Social Security will go down. Once you cross the 62 barrier, you can earn whatever you want.
Hmm.
Okay.
And you see, that's where I don't agree. If I put into it and you say at a certain age I'm getting a certain amount of money, it doesn't matter how much more money I make because I put in all these years. This was promised to me.
That's correct.
Right.
And I know a lot of people who benefit from a lot of things that working people benefit from, and they never worked a day in their lives. So sort of like SSI, disability.
Yep.
You know, I know a couple people that have never worked a day in their life, but they get the exact same amount as a person who has always worked, but doesn't necessarily qualify for the full Social Security.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, that I don't agree with that part. Like if I put in, give me what I put in.
Okay.
I should not get the same amount that someone who hasn't put in nearly the, as much as I put in.
Okay. So I look at it like this. All right. So the person's Social Security is for retirement income, disability insurance, survivor benefits, poverty reduction, income stability, and build individual savings. All right. So me being a person that did 22 years in the military, I know for a fact you have people who served that have disabilities that are not able to work. Therefore, yes, do they get money to help supplement what they're not able to do. So if that's full because they're not able to work. You got 100% disabled able to work, 100% disabled is not able to work. So if I'm and the last time I checked, I could look at my own account for like my Social Security benefits. So those people who aren't able to work, you daggone right they deserve it. 100%. I'm not going to say take it away from them because they don't have enough money to take care of themselves. So whether it's 3,000, 4,000 put on top of whatever they get for their military retirement separation, that because they're disabled, they deserve that.
Are you talking in general about military or just anyone who's disabled?
Disabled, period. Now, granted, there are some one-offs because I know sometimes people try to scam, but
Sure.
those people that try to scam, guess what? Social Security Administration isn't crazy. They have those people that's literally watching and paying attention to these people to make sure they're not doing anything that's under the table. And if they do, guess what? It gets taken back.
Sure. I mean, I think it's hard uh, for myself, and I'll be the first one. I may rail against Social Security, but I'm also going to put my money where my mouth is. No pun intended,
Yeah.
or pun intended, depending on how you look at it, which is to say that I don't care whether I get my Social Security. In your example of someone who's disabled who needs it,
Mhm.
they need it more than me. We grew up in a different generation. As you mentioned, with the silent generation, the kind of the advent of this system was to make sure that when those folks retired that they had something to fall back on,
Mm.
that people who were 80 weren't having to work because they didn't have anything coming in.
Right.
And I totally agree with that. I think it's reasonable to say we need to make sure that we have some sort of social blanket for people who need it. I don't have any problem with that. That's not my issue with it. My issue with it is that we didn't do it right as a society. Instead of putting individual bank accounts together or finding a way to actually solve the problem. We've known about, I mean, I'm sure you saw in your research, we've known that Social Security was going to be insolvent. It varies on the dates depending on what you look at. It's anywhere from 2030 to 2037. I was finding all different kinds of measurements. But let's just say it's 2035. Let's pick the midpoint. So if we know it's going to go insolvent in 2035, what are politicians doing in order to make sure that it doesn't blow up and go off a cliff? And the answer is not a damn thing. They've just let it continue to run because, as everyone knows, and we saw via the backlash via TikTok and things like that, no one wants their sacred cow touched. That's why politicians won't touch it, because we won't let them. Now, let's be honest. It's not that there's not a will to fix it. Although let's be honest, politicians don't have a will to fix much. But it's also that people who are paying into the system are just like, don't touch, don't no, you don't get to touch that. But my point in what I was saying in the previous episode was, if we don't do something, there is no social security. It's going to bankrupt. It will completely go off a cliff. So would you rather have something that makes sense, or would you rather have nothing because we don't have anything to give anyone because we let it go insolvent?
But
That's
see,
my question.
but see, like that, but that's the thing, though, right? So even in my research, from what I saw is, even if it went insolvent in say 2035, it's not really going to be insolvent. What it means is they will only be able to contribute 80% of what they actually put in. So it's not necessarily going away. But you also got to look at it like this too. Politicians are not going to let something go away because they tap into it for other things.
No doubt.
So
Yep.
when you look at it, if they let it go away, where are they going to get excess money from to do the things they got to do? Because they tap into it, but they also got to pay it back. This country is in debt, and part of the debt that they take money from things for other things to pay for some of the stuff that they got to take care of. And one of the things that I find is mind-boggling, when you try to see how much has really been put into Social Security over time, you're not able to find that information.
Why do you think that is? You know why? Just like I do.
One thing I think about all the time is, what about the hundreds of thousands of people who died before they're 62 and able to collect it? Where is that money going?
So sometimes you can have a survivor annuity.
Yep, that's the survivor benefits.
Sometimes you get
Survivor benefits
For how long though?
until that person passes away.
So if I pass away right now, who would get my benefits?
Your child,
For how long?
until they are no longer able to get it.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, so
I
like
thought people getting benefits until they're 18.
no,
right.
like
I've heard that as well.
For the rest of their lives.
I'll have to defer to Paul. This is one thing I
yeah,
need
so
to read.
like literally, I recommend anybody, if you haven't, Social Security used to send out statements once a year on like your anniversary thing. I recommend anybody to literally go to ssa.gov, create your account, log in, and see what your information is. And even when you go in there, you can log in and it'll break down stuff to you. But that's survivor benefits, right? So like I know, like for me, something happened to me, yeah, like those benefits goes to my wife. But and that's perfect. And so she'll be able to do whatever she needs to it. But I recommend anybody. Just don't.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because my grandmother received her husband's.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she couldn't also receive her own.
Right. Because like what happens is whichever Social Security benefit is the greatest, that's what they give you.
See? So what happens to her money?
You like
You see what I'm saying? Where is that access of money? Like, where did it go?
So
who gets it?
But see, like here's something you gotta look at it, right? So they gonna look at this. If you supposed to get $1,000 a month, right? And let's say your spouse dies and her surplus income is like $5,000. That makes up for what you already have, so therefore you don't need it.
Nah, I want all the money. If let me tell you something, whoever I leave on this earth when I'm going, I feel like they should get their own. They put in for it,
right?
And mine, like that's just the way I look at it. Like I don't get it. I don't get that part.
Look, that's like that part.
So that means that other money is just out there.
But is it really though?
It is.
If
you're getting the benefits of your spouse that passed away, your benefits are just gone.
Well,
so where does that go? To someone else?
No, it'll be used by the government for
that's my means.
Yeah.
So like it'll
get sent overseas to rebuild some foreign.
That's the Social Security trust funds that they call it. Social Security trust funds.
Right.
So that's what that is. But I don't ever believe that's going to go away.
Mhm.
That's my own personal opinion.
So, I mean, I looked into it, and according to what I saw, 66% of the U.S.'s income each year,
Mhm.
the mass GDP, 66% goes to entitlement programs. 66% of all the money collected in the United States goes to pay someone else. That
Yeah.
is an unbelievable
Yeah.
statistic.
So like what? Let's see here. 25.95 trillion
Mm.
is borrowed from investors. Not to mention that, let's see here, intergovernmental debt, $7.26 trillion. Gross national debt is 36.22 trillion. And that and 7.5 and 7.4 goes to other countries.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. So, I mean, when I'm talking about insolvency, this is what I'm talking about. It's bigger than Social Security. The
Oh, no
government
doubt.
is insolvent, right? Our government is out of control with their spending. There's no doubt about it.
So
And I think my point of view is really coming into how do we fix it? So what I did for so the folks are watching, so they don't think, oh well, he's just going to complain about it. I actually came up with a proposal of how I would fix the system.
mhm.
Would I do away with it? To answer the question you guys asked earlier, no, I wouldn't do away with it. But I have a solution that I think would work. But continue with what you're saying, Paul. Sorry.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. When you talk about Social Security and you talk about this country and the debt it has, I see the two biggest contributing factors. How is it that you have billion dollar investors in this country, all this money, and you're borrowing almost $26 trillion against the government? So they want to talk about debt. Make these people who borrowed against the government pay their money instead of taking out more loans against it.
Yep.
If you want to talk about, oh, this country is in debt, instead of taking Social Security, stop paying almost $7.5 trillion to other countries that you have money going out to. Let's be real, but don't take money from people that actually need it.
Oh, I'm 100% on this with you. 100%. If we were to take all of these foreign investments and
Mhm.
all this waste of money that we send building infrastructure in other countries, have you seen these bridges? I mean, it's not. I mean, come on, man. It's not a question mark as to why this stuff is crumbling. We have an aging electrical infrastructure. Everything that we have is garbage, but yet we're funding to rebuild Iraq after we blew the shit out of it. Things like that. So I'm in total agreement. If we were to concentrate on the American citizen and making sure our American citizens are wealthy, that would be a great start. I'm in
Absolutely.
100% agreement with that. Yes.
Absolutely, because instead of doing that, you could do something simple as like rebuild I-40 that just got washed away again by like a mudslide.
Yep. Yep.
And people are scared to travel I-40 to go north to like Kentucky because it's been washed away for a second time.
Right.
How about rebuild that so people can have something safe to drive on?
I totally agree with it.
You know, on TikTok, I went to TikTok, the
Oh.
comments.
All right.
It's
So
it's
good.
really good on that
Yeah.
particular post.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's at 17.65 now. Tim, not the Tim we know,
Mhm.
but Tim said everyone's basically talking about, getting rid of Social Security. Why doesn't anyone ever talk about cutting welfare?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, right. As I think Paul and I would agree. I think most programs, like we talked about the Department of Education in the previous episode, I think we can look at cutting the fat on most of these programs.
You can.
Maybe not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. Again, most of these things, when we're talking about welfare, Social Security, disability payments, are some of them necessary for some people? Absolutely. I'm not one of those people that's just like, just get rid of everything. And I don't think that that's logical. So to answer that question from Tim, yes, I think that we should look at welfare benefits.
Absolutely.
Where are they going? Who's getting them? Why are they getting them?
Yeah.
What's the income level? Are they really not able to work to get the We need to look at all that. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at it.
But I think that, and y'all gonna get mad at me, and I don't care. I think welfare should be cut because there are a lot of people that are on welfare who have the ability to work, but they choose not to work
Mhm.
because they're getting free money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet and still like, and if they do work, they only working enough to keep receiving welfare and stay in the house that was given by like the little government certificates, or stay in the Section 8 house and like Section 8. And that's true. And nobody could tell me otherwise. How I know? Because I grew up in Section 8.
Mhm.
So I know the game. And I know a lot of people be lying and saying, "Oh, I'm not able to do this," but it really like you are. You want the free. So it's like whatever. Be mad at me, I don't care.
Yep.
There's another good one.
Okay, good.
These comments. Oh, there's also Gen X's on here. They're coming at us also. But
All right.
But I mean, again, I didn't talk about Gen X.
Yeah.
I talked about baby boomers, so they weren't listening.
So,
Their comprehension stinks.
so Charlie from TikTok,
Yep.
he said there's a lot of people that rely on Social Security. Without it, they would die.
Yep.
And he said this guy, but Rob is ready to cut it because he's got a retirement plan. What
Well,
about the people who don't have a retirement plan?
Yep. I mean, why don't you have a retirement plan? No, and I mean, he's an Xer, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks like it.
Why don't you have a retirement plan? I don't understand.
So
We've been well aware. Now, again, when we set up Social Security,
Mhm.
we were well aware of what we were doing it for, which
Mhm.
was the silent generation. Didn't have retirement plans back then. So why haven't you invested money? Now, people can say because it's too damn expensive. Bro, I'm living it. I understand it's expensive out there. I'm not going to act like eggs were $35 a piece at one point. So I mean, I get
Per
it.
egg.
Per egg, right? That's what I mean. You understand expenses and stuff like that, but you're responsible for yourself. I don't understand this. This is the mentality I want to separate. There are
Right.
people in our society that need help. There are people in our society that don't need help, that are lazy. Now, I'm not saying that's a huge percentage. I'm just saying that those people exist. So my thing is, why aren't you taking responsibility for yourself?
accountability. But here's one thing that I think that we may not realize when it comes to that piece about retirement accounts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that comes down to the education piece, which would I come across some people refuse to educate themselves and be blind to it. If you don't have the total breakdown of what it takes to do something like a simple Roth IRA or how to properly save, you're not going to do it. A lot of society is a spend society, not vice a save society. Now, I can totally understand, like, my kids, they're taught how to save. They understand the difference between making a budget and putting away for the future. That's something that needs to be taught, and I feel that that is not being taught today. Period. And when you start talking about the silent generation, the baby boomers, yes, some of those people that came in their generation may have retirement accounts, but their retirement accounts may be in the stock market. So therefore, when the stock is up, they're great, but when it's down, they're hurting. They're not getting the same payout that they would have gotten like the month prior. So the Social Security still is there to help supplement that. They worry about that. They are on a fixed income for a reason, and that Social Security is a part of a fixed income.
Yeah, I tend to agree about the fixed income piece. I do think that if you're if you're of retirement age and you still have your money in stocks and they're high risk stocks, then you're kind of an idiot. I mean,
No, I'm not gonna say that now.
yeah, okay. Well, I'm
No,
just saying for the
no,
record,
no,
like,
no, no,
don't get
no, I'm
into
not saying
low
that.
risk
No, no,
stuff when you're
no,
65. You know,
no,
no
like I'm not
offense.
saying that. But you
Yeah.
gotta look at it. When you look at retirement accounts, how are they set up then?
Mhm.
They were set like that still is a knowledge thing. Regardless, if you retire from the education system and you're 70 years old from teaching, and that's what your money was put in, you don't really have knowledge of what stuff's going, or that's what it was then that's what you gotta take. Everything is not everything that was built then is not the same now. Just like I have a TSP, I have other things that's set up, but I have the knowledge and I work with people to make sure that I'm good to go. They don't have that. They didn't have that luxury when it was retirement. So it's a little different. They need Social Security to supplement that.
Even right now, a lot of people don't have TSP. They don't have a pension plan. They don't have that. You know, like like people who are lifelong workers at certain supermarkets.
Right.
They don't have that
That
luxury.
401k.
You know, and the thing is, when it comes to retirement plans, pension plans, and everything, a lot of people who were um never received it or were never in a job that actually offered it.
Right.
What about those people? You know, like people who depend on the government. Some people rely on them daily. Even
Right.
when we go back to Section 8, welfare,
Right.
SSI, disability, you have people that rely on those things.
Right.
It's not a lot of money, but they rely on it, and they were told, from a parent or from the past, whatever, okay, this is what you need to do. Oh, you need to go get on welfare. You have a baby, you need to do this. I've heard it, like I've witnessed it.
Right.
So what about those people? There are a lot of people out there that actually depend on the government and love the government because the government takes care of them. There are certain parties, Republican or Democrat, I'm not going to say which one, but we all know which one. They actually feed off of that. They actually
Right.
feed off of their voters. Their people are from the people that they take care of.
Right.
And those are the people who sit back and then look at the people with retirement plans, pension plans, 401ks, and everything else, and they look at us like, oh, look, they think they're better. I've seen it and I've heard it.
Well,
So
that,
what
that
about those
comment
people?
sounds like I think I'm better than them, and I don't.
That's actually the way they're actually thinking. Oh, he has a retirement plan. Who does he think he is? I want my money.
Yeah. I mean,
You're good. I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look at it like this, right? And I'll tell us anybody that's out there. We have the internet. We have Amazon. The information is out there really available to you. If you say, "Hey, I'm in Section 8. I'm on welfare." All right, cool. The information to break that cycle is out there. So you bring your child up, give them a book, or start teaching them about how to budget, how to save. And if they're giving them money, teach them how to save money so they can put them stuff in something like a IRA or a Roth IRA to start breaking that cycle. If you're on Section 8, like whatever. Like I said, I grew up on Section 8 too. Am I for it? No, because I feel like that's what is a problem with society today. People think everything's supposed to be handed to them. This supposed to be the land of milk and honey. And you worried about why everybody else is getting ahead is because you refuse to get ahead. You refuse to go out there and do what's required to get ahead. But the information is out there. I put I start if I knew what I knew now when I first started in the military, it'd be a different ball game. But I give a big shout out to like Dave Ramsey because Dave Ramsey helped me and my family move totally differently. How I do my stuff with my stuff is based off of things that I read, like like Robert Casati, Dave Bach, all these different people that are wealthy. Heck, Warren Buffett. They give you the information is out there. It's up to you to go and get it. That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
You see that information, I believe, is only beneficial to people who have a little something because that's easier said than done.
Not necessarily.
It is because if you have a choice between food, a roof over your head, kids for your clothes for your kids, or put it into an investment account, what are you going to choose? You have to understand people aren't in the same situation that we're in right
All
now.
right. So
You have a choice. Like if I had a choice, if let's say if I was in a situation, I
Mhm.
had to put food on my table,
Mhm.
give my kids clothes, or pay my rent,
Mhm.
I would not choose an investment account. I
All
don't
right.
have it to give.
All right. So have you ever heard of penny stocks?
Yeah.
All right. So is that exactly what I'm talking about? You don't need a lot of money to start putting something into something. You don't.
But at the same time, it goes back to what I said. Do you think a person who's struggling and worrying about how they're going to feed their children, you think they're worrying about investing? No, the only focus, their main focus is take care of their children.
Right. So you know what? You're right. But how many people are actually struggling?
There's a lot, believe me.
Like
There's a lot.
granted,
There's more struggling than people who are doing well. And
but
doing it.
so like granted, yes, are there people struggling? But then there are those who are taking off that aren't struggling, that have the ability to go do it.
How
I'm like,
many though?
huh?
I know people here in Augusta, they're struggling.
Oh, like I'm not discounting that.
Struggling. I'm
I'm
talking.
not.
They don't know how they're going to eat. Let me tell you something. When I came up, when
Mhm.
I was coming up, people their budget was they had no budget.
Mhm.
People will wake up in the morning and say, "All I have to do is give me get $5 today or $20 today." Actually, living off of $10 to $20 a day. There are
Okay.
people struggling.
Okay.
And what they do is this is their breakfast, and I'm telling you, their breakfast is a cigarette, a butter roll, and a coffee. That's their breakfast.
Oh,
So you think a
okay.
person that has zero money is going to be focused on an investment account? No,
Listen,
it's not happening.
I can tell you this like this. I grew up where only thing I had was a slice of bread.
Hmm.
I grew up where I didn't
And-
have.
And how many investment accounts did you have then?
Once again, I didn't like for me. I was
You weren't
section,
concerned about investment
but
account.
but here's something you got to
You weren't
realize.
concerned about giving somebody
No,
anything.
hold up. Like I can speak from my own standpoint. I can speak for myself. Like, granted, like if you want to talk about struggle, yes, I struggle, and I know what it is to struggle. But I also realize it too that like when I look at how I grew up, there was somebody in that house that was able to work that refused to work. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have people that struggle that don't need to struggle. They have the ability to go out there and work and do what's required to make sure that struggle does not exist. And that's what a lot of stuff that we deal with today. You have people that are struggling that don't need to struggle. They will really sit there and wait for the handout to come so they can be like, hey, I can pay for this roof. I can go get this food. Or I can like food stamps. You can go buy whatever you want to buy. That's food wise, but you still gotta pay for anything else like tissue and stuff like that. So let's keep it a stack. You got people that's struggling that don't need to struggle. The struggle is there because they want the handout. Let's be real about that.
But what's the percentage? The percentage? Like, would you say 80%, 90% of people on welfare, people who can't afford anything? Do you think what's the percentage? Like, what do you think?
For me,
Because I know what my percentage would be in my reality. Yours would maybe a little bit different.
yeah, my reality is a little bit.
About 20% of people that could work and just refuse to. The other 80, they either didn't have the mental capacity, the education, or the background or help. A lot of people need more help than anything.
All right, so you said two things. Like you said, two things that's important. You said health and the mental. Those two things that are important. And so when it comes down to that, I know somebody right now that's here in Augusta. Shout out to Corey. That's my barber. He's a part of this thing called the Manhood Tour. And what he does is he goes in the hood with people that's from realtors, banks, investors, and all these different entities. And what he's doing, he's educating people. See, that's what that takes. It's not the fact of the matter that they aren't able to know, but who is willing to step their foot into that place to teach them what's required to break that cycle? A lot of it is a cycle that keeps repeating itself.
Yeah, but it's still easier said than done. Because if it was easier done than said, we will all be millionaires.
I'm
We
not
would
saying
all be millionaires. It's easier said than done because everyone has their own unique situation and what they're
right,
dealing with at home.
right. That's true.
Let's say if a person did have the willpower and the knowledge and everything to do something about their lives and to change their lives and change the lives of their families, but there's always another aspect. There's always another tool. There's always something else that they're dealing with. That prevented them from doing a certain thing. So we can all sit up here and judge and say anything we want, but a lot of people do not have the mental capacity or the know-how or the ability to do so.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and I can only speak from my own standpoint. I will say that is cap because I was that. Wait a second. I can speak from my own standpoint because that person was me. That person was me. I can tell you I was in the 11th grade that was about to drop out of high school because I was living in a house where my mom was not working. She was going around to like the churches to pay that lights and gas and get food when somebody stayed in a house that was able to work. Came up in a drug house and was abusive house. I can tell you I was that statistic, but yet and still, what I did, when you want to get out, you will find a way to get out. And I found a way to get out. That is a fact. That I don't see that as an excuse. Like you can't tell me that someone is not able to do it because I did it.
Yeah, that's you. But what about the people who are caught up in situations where they can't?
When there's
A person who was falsely accused of something, locked up, or got caught into a situation where they couldn't, and now they have a record. So now they can't do certain things because they're judged. That's your situation. Your situation is probably top 1%. You have 90 to 99.1% of people out there that do not have your situation.
right.
I understand what you're saying. There are people out there who can get out but refuse to because what I call them, they're just lazy. But you have other people. But you have other people out there, and you can't speak on 100% of them. You have a lot of people out there who just can't because every time you turn around, there's a roadblock. There's always a wall. There's something hitting them. There's something always knocking them down. They don't have a support system because,
Mm.
like even at work, you have to have a team. If they don't
Mhm.
have a team or a support system
Mm.
outside of whatever they're doing, it's hard. It's harder. Or what about a single father or a single mother with 3, 4 children,
Mhm.
even one? It's harder for them.
Mm.
So that situation, they have to make a choice.
Mm.
Okay, do I do this or do I do this for my child so we can survive and eat?
Mm.
You have to look at the 90% of people out there.
Mm.
90% of people out there do not make $100,000. For what I'm hearing is, in black men,
Mm.
5% of us make
Mm.
$100,000,
Okay.
and that's a low percentage.
Okay.
So what about the other 95%?
Exactly.
See, like I said, you're speaking on your situation now, and I understand it because I also think that
Mhm.
way. But then I also have to think of my family and people who aren't where I am and what I'm doing. They don't have the talent, they don't have the ability. So with those people who only have a relationship, or no, not a relationship, they only have the talent or the know-how to do just a regular job, they will not invest that two, three, four, $500 a week that they may make before or after taxes into a stock market, into a 401k, into a pension. They just cannot afford it. You have people out there living and dealing with the bare minimum just to survive.
Okay. I would, like I say, yes. Are there people out there living for the bare minimum to survive? Absolutely. You say like $300 to $400, like a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing it's take is $20 to put in a savings account. I'm so like,
See, you're talking about the $20 that could be their last 20 after they pay all their bills, because you remember outside of that, you have to pay rent, you have to pay if you have a car, especially if you live down here, you better have a car, because if you
man,
don't, you're gonna be stranded somewhere. What about food? If you have a child, that $20 can be gas money, that could be Uber money, that
So
could be like it's a
why
lot you have to
man,
factor
look,
into everything.
I'm gonna stand on business on this one.
why couldn't it be both?
What you mean?
Why can't you both be right?
No,
Why, you know what I mean?
Listen,
Like,
like,
I mean, we can disagree on the
yeah,
percentages
like,
and stuff like that, but I think that you're both correct, honestly, in hearing the back and forth.
mhm,
And that's not to say because, we're on a panel together, I have to agree with everybody, but I really do. I mean, I think Hassan's making good points, and Paul, I think you're making good points too, which is there are those who are lazy, who don't want to do anything with their lives, and
mhm,
there are those who don't have the opportunity to do it.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we all remember starting off, that Gen X guy acts like I'm a rich person, but I remember starting off and being like, how do I save for retirement when I'm barely scraping by as it is?
Mhm.
And a good thing that my dad always taught me was if you never had it, you'll never see it anyway.
Mm.
there you go.
So his suggestion was start with the minimum match. So if you're with a particular place that says matches your whatever you put into your retirement account by 3% and they match 3% as well, then to do the minimum for now.
Mhm.
So that's what I did. I started off with I think it was 5% actually at the time. But I did it immediately. As soon as I signed the paperwork for the new job, I started that. So I never saw the cash. I never knew it existed.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
my baseline was 5% lower, but it was still my baseline. So
Like I'm gonna say it like this, and then like I'm gonna leave it alone to these people that's on welfare. If you're struggling, I get it. I'm not against people that's struggling like that actually need assistance. I'm not against that. However, I am against people that are getting stuff that have the ability to go out and actually work and take care of their families just asking for a handout. I'm against that 1000% because you're struggling because you want to struggle. You have the ability to literally go out and work. And don't say like, oh, these people don't have skills. Everybody has a skill and a talent. It's up to them to actually decide to tap into what they're able to do. You have some people that are phenomenal artists. Phenomenal people that's able to do great video editing, great computer work, and stuff like that. If you want assistance, find assistance to actually go to a trade school to learn a that trade to work and take care of your that people. That's what I got an issue with. Stop saying, "Oh, give me a handout because I need it," but are you able to work?
Mm.
That's one thing I'm saying.
yeah, I
Oh,
totally agree with
are
that.
you able to
Because
work?
yeah,
And then when it comes down to like the people that actually need Social Security, like I know for a fact that was one of the things that was brought to me when I came up for like a med board, and I was saying, "Hey, if yeah, you'll get medically retired, but if you need supplemental income, you can apply for this." But if I would apply for Social Security, I'm gonna be able to work.
yeah,
And I was able to work. So no, like you got people that's not able to work that actually need it.
yeah, totally agree. So I mean, kind of changing pace a little bit. Um, One of the things that I found out was in 1960s, the workers to the people getting the payout for retirement
Mhm.
was 5-1. What do you think that is today?
Oh God.
Right. It's 3-1 right now.
Yeah,
And
it's
getting
up. Yeah, it's
smaller.
up. Yeah, like
Right.
it's up. Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
it's kind kind of ridiculous. Like I think I saw something where they paid out last year 1.35 trillion.
Yep. Yep. That's why we're in trouble. Because if you look at, and I know that people think this is a right wing conspiracy, but it's really not. The population is not increasing in the United States. It's actually worldwide. But specifically, let's go into the statistics. So the baby boomer population, 76 million. The Xer population, 65. The Y bumped up a little bit, 72. Z, 68. And Alpha, how many alphas do you think there are right now? 48 million. That's it. So what you're looking at is in my example was the inverted pyramid, right? You have the folks who are retiring are the big block of the pyramid, and each successive generation is getting smaller. That's why it's unsustainable. Because if you had more workers than you have retirees, then the system's golden. But you don't have that anymore. We're actually losing, and as you can see, from 1960 to today, we've lost 2 people per retired person. That's huge. Where are we going to be in the next 50 years? Who knows?
So look at it like this, right? So like I said, it was 163.37 million employed, 135.277 million full time. So could it be that the difference in people that's actually full time employed, or actually could it be the difference in like those 2 numbers that's impacting as well?
It absolutely could be that. But it also could be, I mean, either way, you're looking at less people paying in with a full time salary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either way, there's not enough money coming into the system to balance it out. It just doesn't work. So that's the concern, is that you're going to be, if each successive generation gets smaller and smaller, I mean, it's unsustainable. It just is. It's just the truth.
I think it's unsustainable because of who we have as a government.
Well, fair enough. Disagree with that.
Because literally how they borrow against it. And I'm gonna keep pointing out they borrow against it. They have to pay it back. So basically the government's taking out loans on top of a loan, like to pay something back. So the government doesn't know how to be debt free, as we say.
No, not at all. So you would be for like a constitutional amendment for a balanced budget?
I would say make these people that keep getting richer off of the government pay up. Like I mean, like seriously, like how is it that you're taking out investment? Why are you like literally? That's mind-boggling to me. $25.95 trillion debt held by the public because it's cash borrowed from investors. That doesn't equate to me. 25.95 trillion, that is part of our national debt. So you tell me that like investors are borrowing against the government. So you have us, so part of the debt that we're dealing with is from you. So if you're a billionaire and you're borrowing against the government, pay up.
We want to hear something even worse. Is that millionaires get Social Security too? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they paid into it now because that was the common theme that I heard from TikTok. If I pay into it, then I should get it. So you're saying that all of the Hollywood celebrities deserve Social Security, not you. I mean, no, but I mean, come on, is that fair? Does that make any sense? No, I don't think so.
Man, listen.
What do they need it for? What do they need Social Security for? Really? What does Julia Roberts need Social Security for?
Pay her taxes. Pay her taxes. Pay her taxes. Pay her taxes. That was she needed for the pay her taxes.
Yeah.
But no, but like if you in Hollywood and you're against Social Security, y'all can stop that. Let that go to some people that actually need it. That is my thing, man. And I don't care what anybody may say. This country suffers because I feel that you have people that in higher places that are selfish. And we have people that literally are hurting. That shouldn't be. If you look at what this country deal with, it's like they want a national debt. Let's raise the national debt ceiling. Why? So we can go further in debt.
Yep.
So you can borrow more money from the Social Security Administration. Because I do find that quite ironic. And I did every type of search algorithm possible. And they will not show you how much money they really collected.
Because it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a big scheme.
I believe that the reason why it's like that is because of they take that money and they pay for, and like they do, they take that money and they pay for other programs. And so therefore they don't want to know how much money they're borrowing against it because that's what they got to pay back. And if people knew how much money was taken from Social Security, they will be pissed off to the highest of festivity.
I mean, that's how a video talking about Social Security gets 17,000 views because
Man.
people are pissed about it.
Yo, because you on a tangent, bro. It was about discipline. It was about discipline your kids.
Mhm.
It was about kids. You went on a complete tangent. I'm like, yo.
You gotta leave me alone, all right? Let me tell you, I got some interaction online, okay? It wasn't positive, certainly.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So, I think for me, I don't want to sit here and just be the naysayer, to be like, screw Social Security, screw the baby boomers, although I'll keep with that one, and just say, with nothing behind it, right?
Mhm.
So I kind of went into what I would do with it. How would I fix Social Security as it is today to a lot for people who need the money,
Mhm.
to a lot for people who's paid into it, things like that. So my reform strategy is as follows, and people will probably disagree. I don't really care. The first is that we need to raise the retirement age. Everyone is living longer now, so as such, I think that the retirement age, I can't give you a figure. Maybe it's 2 to 3 years, somewhere in there. But we raise the retirement age. I believe for us it's 58. For others, it's dependent, I think, on the sector that you're in. But I think the retirement age should be raised. I think that would help to kind of alleviate some of that gap between the successive generations having to pay for older ones. I would say on top of that, that we should have a hybrid account model. You should have an account through Social Security, Paul. And not only that, you should be able to look at how much money you've given into Social Security so that you can find out how much you're due out or how much they collect.
You can see
Right.
how much they collect.
Right. But I mean, as a whole, it should be completely transparent. This is how much we took in as a government, 1.75 trillion.
Mhm.
This is how much we distributed, and we'll find those numbers will be different, I'm sure. As you said, they're using that for other things. So to have a half TSP model, like folks have in the federal government, where you actually are investing into an account, and then half doing what we do now, which is that the younger generation is paying for retirees. And then on top of that, what I would have is that would allow for more money to be in Social Security. You'd have an actual account assigned to you that no one can touch. Based on market research, it would earn you approximately 5% a year. That's a given. Even with market ebbs and flows, it's about 5% would be fairly constant. If you look at the TSP average, the average of TSP is 5% over time per year. So that's good. And then it also allows folks to basically, if we did this model, a hybrid model, for anyone who had the 5% return by the time that they retired, if they put into the account for from 18 until they retire at, say, 62-ish, they would have $503,000 just in that TSP account that they could use. So my thing is, why can't we do that?
Okay.
Why can't we put together a system that allots for that? We also, one more point, sorry, one more thing, would be that we would need to remove the payroll cap. Right now, you only pay Social Security up until $168,000 a year. If you earn more than that, your Social Security burden doesn't increase or decrease. It just, you could earn $300 million a year, but your Social Security allotment doesn't change. So you don't owe more into the system.
Like I think I'll look at it a little bit differently.
Okay.
I mean, so for me, if I had to do anything to deal with this with Social Security or just the financial burden, period. If you want to talk about Social Security, hold these people that's borrowing against the government account, make them pay up to alleviate this dadgum debt, to alleviate the debt. That's number one. Number two, I would, since we talked about the education piece, like the Department of Education, I feel that that should be a part of school curriculum. Teaching kids how to be financially stable.
Yeah.
Teaching them how to properly manage and budget their money. Teaching them about things like traditional RAs, Roth RAs. Teaching them about CDs, money market accounts, stuff like that. I feel like that should be a part of the curriculum. That's number two. Number three, even depending on what job you get, that should be a part of your hiring packet to teach the people that you bring on board about the different benefits that's available to them. Guide them, teach them, show them what can be their benefit. Because even if like you put in like yeah, 5% is phenomenal. That's great. But teach them, show them the different levels and show them what each level will be so they can be better and financially stable at the end, depending on if they want to retire. When you start talking about money and stuff like that and retirement accounts, that is a education piece. And I feel like that needs to be taught because like I said before, that was when we were talking about education, that was a time when I was coming up, they taught you how to balance checkbooks. They taught you about savings account balance checkbook. They taught you how to cook, like home ec and things like that. That stuff is not available anymore. They just now starting to bring back in cursive writing to third and fifth graders in the state of Georgia. Phenomenal. That's phenomenal because now somebody knows how to do a proper signature. So certain things need to be incorporated in schools, and then like parents too, educate yourselves so therefore like y'all can be on one accord and y'all can grow together. Whether you're a single mother, single father, or married, y'all need to know about this financial thing because you need to know what's being taken, what's coming out, and like what's going in, and what's going to benefit y'all in the end.
I tend to agree. I mean, I like all that. I do think maybe we should have a separate episode just on this. We already talked about the Department of Education. Maybe we should talk about education itself because I totally agree with you that on its face, schools don't teach anything relevant anymore.
Nope.
They really don't. I mean, the kids coming out don't know anything about anything. I mean, listen, I use this story. My son's going to get mad at me, but it's just common sense stuff. And maybe I shouldn't out him like this, but I will. He came to me one time. He said, Mom wants me to wash the car. Well, how do I do that? And I'm like, just grab some soap and grab like a towel and go out to the car and do it. And he was just like, well, I don't understand. Like, what do I do with the bucket? I was like, put water in it. And he was like, okay, now what? Put soap in it, stir it around. He's going to really get mad at me about this. Anyway, but it's just that common sense reasoning, right? It's not his fault. He's a kid. He doesn't know. But in the same respect, I'm like, what? Where is the critical thinking? I think that's my main point. Like what I'm really trying to drive at is critical thinking. Right. Correct, Paul. Critical thinking doesn't exist anymore. It's just not there because you're right. You have this damn thing. You have your chat GPT that you can ask all the questions. I even saw a recent article that was talking about how chat GPT is being used in college for kids to cheat. They'll just write their whole articles using chat. I mean, it's unbelievable. No one wants to take the time to do the things. But in the same respect, what are we teaching kids in school? And from what I can see, a bunch of nothing. It's a bunch of garbage. We're not even teaching the normal way to do arithmetic, writing skills, cursive, as you said. I mean, it's unbelievable. So they get out of school and they're dumber than when they went in there. I just don't understand how that's possible. Maybe that's another episode.
Another episode. Whole other episode. We can go deep on that one.
That'll get clipped. Don't get mad at me because you saw the clip and you're like, what are you talking about? Robbie J, you don't like our education system? No, I don't like it. It stinks.
No, but like he's gonna be on me this one though. But I don't care. Like I'm gonna stand on business on it. That's just me.
That's fine.
All right. So you guys heard it. It's been a very in-depth conversation. We went on a little tangent, but it's all great information. We all have our different standpoints, different views. If there's anything that you didn't like, comment, subscribe. Like you leave comments, we're gonna definitely respond to your comments. But email us at what?
It's info@blackchatpodcast.com.
Email us there. Please email us. We will respond. But this is our episode on Social Security. Hope you like it. Hope you have better clarity, better understanding. We all have our different viewpoints. It's just some love. So, holler at you guys in the next one. Black Chat.